Good morning. Good morning. How are you today?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, we are streaming the first official Women of the Week, and I'm so
I'm excited too.
excited. That's the feels, right? That's the feels. Yes, yes. So, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank
I wanted to say thank you for coming on. Again, I appreciate you so much. Um, Everything that you do, you have no idea. Just the value you have brought into my life, and so I want to say I appreciate you. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself,
Okay.
and then we'll go from there. Is that cool?
Yes, that's cool.
Awesome.
So before I introduce myself, y'all, I just have to say thank you to Nadi. Okay, I'm so excited to be on here. I'm grateful that she even asked me to come on here. Just to have her as an attribute in my life. Nadi, you are the bomb.com. Okay, so thank you. Um, but hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Okay, I am Shania Karina. Listen, I'm gonna be sounding a little out of breath as we talk. I'm due any day now, so if I sound out of breath, you know why. But I'm
Mom, it
excited.
ain't easy.
Yeah, listen. But I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mom. I own a business called Karina's Place. I just created another platform for moms. But my sole focus is just helping people become all they're called to be despite their mental health. There's such
Yeah.
a stigma on mental illness, having depression, having PTSD, anxiety, and I want people to understand you can overcome these things while still trying to build your businesses, while still trying to raise some babies,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's where we at with it, okay?
Awesome. Awesome. So I want to talk about that, like, right? How, in the world today, um, and the crazy thing is not many people know this, but I myself suffer with terrible, terrible depression.
Mm,
Um, and it took me a long time to find my own way and to get past those things and to
yeah.
um, actually start doing the things that moved me, right? And so I want to talk about that, like what it's like with that pressure being a mom and a business owner. So tell me, like, how is that? What are your thoughts? What do you think?
I feel like there's a lot of pressure, especially as women. Um, I remember I started, my little one might wake up, guys, my 2-year-old. But I remember when I started doing business at 19. It was actually doing network marketing. And I remember they were trained like, no feelings. Don't talk about your feelings. Don't do this, don't do that. And I used to feel like, okay, as a woman, I have to look a certain way. I have to dress a certain way, right? I gotta look presentable.
Mm,
I have to be fly, but I also can't talk about my emotions. I have to be mindful of what I speak. But after a while, I started to get really burnt out because I was just like, I feel like I'm dying on the inside while trying to build a business. And I know
mm,
other people are feeling the same way. So I kind of like had to take a step back and kind of just take inventory on where I was at, how I was feeling. Um, that journey looked like a lot from suicide and some more, but it kind of opened my eyes to emotions are not a bad thing. That's what it opened
mm,
my eyes to. And it's okay to talk
yeah.
about it. It's okay to understand, Shania, you're still an amazing woman. There is no such thing as perfect.
Hmm.
There's no such thing as perfect.
Yes, yes. Oh man. Oh, something you said that hit so close for me was dying on the inside.
Hmm.
Like I feel like so many people are trying to hold up this outer look or this outer, persona
Hmm.
and just dying on the inside. And I remember that feeling and just like this can't be life. And if this is life, then I don't want to live it, you know? And
Seriously.
that's like, it's sad, but so many people feel that way and they don't even know that like there is a better way to live life or like how to start living that way, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say I would like to ask you, like, especially being in the mental health space, as well as being a mom and entrepreneur and, you know, trying to do all the things. How do you get started? Like for someone who's still in that place, who still feels like they're dying on the inside, like what are your suggestions for getting started?
For me, I needed therapy,
Hmm.
y'all. I needed, what is it? An intervention. Okay. Seriously. And I could be honest with my story. I remember this was my junior year of college, and y'all see my little baby's head poking. He up. But I remember my junior year of college, I was just, my uncle had passed away, and I was, yeah, come here. You want to come? Okay. And I remember my uncle passed away, and that was my last straw. Like, I was drinking every day, literally, y'all, buying a bottle a day and just drinking it, the whole thing. And I
Mm,
remember, um, I just was kind of at a space where I didn't want to be here anymore. And I remember one of my friends, y'all, I was like drunk in my car. They like they were, long story short, the next day, my friend came banging on my door and she was just crying. And she was like, I'm not doing this with you. Like, we need to get you help. You're like, this is affecting us. We love you. We care about you. It makes me so teary eyed because I think you need people in your life who see you
mm,
beyond, because I had some friends who were just like, oh, she's just partying. But my friends was like, no, you're hurting and you need help. So I
mm,
remember, y'all, I had to go to the psych ward. I was in there for a little bit, but I told them, I was like, look, just I go to therapy. I don't want to be in here, but I go to therapy. And that was my starting point
mm,
because I felt I felt like, okay, I feel crazy because I have to go to therapy. I feel like something's wrong. I'm not going to be looked at as perfect Shania anymore. Like, how are people going to view me? But that's where God implemented that business into me. Shania, you need
mm,
to show people that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to get the help that you need when you need it, if it's necessary. And I remember I started to just do like little YouTube videos and post on my Instagram, and people would come up to me on campus like, yo, I'm going through the same thing. Thank you. Or just
mm,
like, I needed to hear that from you. And I'm just like, okay, God, I see you. I see you. And I remember talking to my therapist about, I think I want to start this business. But I was telling her, like, we just got a little bit more work to do. But, God gave me the idea and kind of just move forward with there from there. So,
mm. Wow, wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, uh it's just so many things, you know, so many things in that I want to touch on, that I want to ask about. Hi. You know, now especially like in this current world, in this current place in the world, right?
hmm
There's this, I feel like there's this collective overwhelm because moms are now having to be moms and still work full time and
yep,
still hustle on the side and still, you know, do all the things and be everything for everybody.
right,
And I think it's hard. It's hard to find ourselves in the midst of all of it a lot of
yeah,
times, you know, and then especially in feeling bad because, you know, like when you're at work on the live, the baby comes in, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know,
listen,
whatever the case may be, whatever may happen, and you're like, ah, dang, you know,
mm,
and that I think that pressure now with us being home and having to be everything at once
Yeah.
is even higher, because before, people would say you have your business life, you have your personal life, you have your work life, you have your this life, that life, you have all these lives, but really you're only one person. And I think now more than ever, that shows through, because we have to be all of it at the same time in the same place. Like, you
Right.
have to be the mom, the entrepreneur, the work, the work version of yourself, all the versions of yourself, all
The
at the same
chef,
time.
everything.
Exactly, exactly. And you have to be it all in the same place all day, every day, all at the same time. And I think, like, that's even more difficult for some people, because the way that they used to maintain their sanity was to compartmentalize,
Yes.
right? So I don't know. I just feel like it's so hard. Like, and I feel bad that the tension is so high.
Yeah.
One person told me, I feel like I became a mom
Mm.
and I lost my life.
Mm. I hear that all the time. I hear that all the time.
Mm. So tell me, like, how did you go about, like, being a mom and still maintaining who you are, finding yourself in it all?
I feel like, mommy, honestly, yes. Blippy, Blippy. Okay. I honestly feel like I had to be okay with this first.
Mm,
I had to be okay with understanding, Shania, you're a mom now. If people want you to come like this, come speak on the live or come do a Zoom, listen, if I have my kid, understand he probably will be a part, okay? Especially as a single mom. I had to become okay with that. At first, I would it would drive me crazy. I felt like I couldn't do it, and that's why I actually stopped my business because I was like, I can't do this with the kid by myself. Like,
mm,
I felt like he was always in the way. Like, it wasn't working. I don't have the time. I'm tired. But that whole thing of finding myself, um, again, I'm really just gonna have to go back to like therapy, but also having proper coaches in your life. Um,
mm,
I started to I started to reach out to different coaches who were moms as well,
mm,
um, to be my spiritual coach, my business coach, um, because I just felt like I need to talk to other women who get it, but who are doing it themselves. Um, and that's kind of what helped me, honestly. It was just about I will never forget one of my friends. She's a single mom. She has a platform called Dear Single Mommy. I stopped my business. I don't know what was going on. I was just really depressed, y'all. I think I was just like on my couch crying for days. And I remember she called me and she was just saying, like, whenever God has called you, he will always come get you. And
mm,
I remember her telling me, like, she was like, you need to get up. Like, and I took that like literally, I took that spiritually, like, and she started praying over me, and she was just talking to me about how you can do this. This was just
mm,
last year, like I want to say like February, March, and she was just like, you can do this, and I was like, okay, I need to figure out how I can do this, um, and I think one of the best things I learned was that Shania has to come first. However
right.
that may look, Shania has to come first. Then the kids, but Shania first.
Mm,
Because if Shania is not okay, your kids are not okay. So setting
yep.
boundaries for people, places, and things that no longer served me. I
Mm,
went on like a full house detox. This might be a little deep, but like breaking soul ties, giving away. Like I cleaned my space, I cleaned my house, and I kind of just told God, like, give me the strength to fulfill what you call me to do while doing this alone as a mom.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of where it started. I had to be okay with reaching out for help, letting people know I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help me? Can you show me?
Hmm. Wow. It's crazy. We always talk about how similar our stories are. And I believe that, and I'm getting a little emotional right here, right now, because I believe that God is really doing a thing. I just want to show you. So, God, I thank you. You know, God, I don't know how he moves and how he does things. Something you said stood out to me. You said, she told you, Shania, get up.
Yes. Yep.
I feel like as women, as people, as business owners, as whoever you are, we get up and we fall back down and we try and we go
Yep.
back to the old ways and we feel bad and we feel crazy. And I always say, I just feel so dumb.
Yep.
In the Bible, Paul said, I feel like I know what to do and yet I don't do it. And it's crazy because I know that this thing is right and I know this is what I'm
Exactly.
supposed to do and yet it's not what I'm doing. And one time I felt like that and I just prayed to God and I was literally on the floor, like up against the wall, knees to my chest, just crying. And God told me this. And it's crazy that you said, Shania, get up because this is over my desk.
Yeah. Stand back up.
All you have to do, like I think that's the hardest thing
Damn.
about business, about motherhood, about just, trying to get this thing right over time is the ability to stand back up. And this verse is coming to me, it says that the race is not given to the swift or the strong,
Hmm.
but the one who stays faithful.
Yep.
And really, I really have to believe that. And I have to believe that what's meant by that is that you don't have to be perfect. You
Yeah.
don't have to get it right all the time. You don't have to do it all.
Yep.
It's not given to the swift or the strong. You don't have to be everything for everybody. You just have to stay faithful. You just have to be the one to stand back up, to keep going, to keep moving, to keep doing it.
Yep.
And in the end, it'll all work out. Oh my goodness, like I just have to believe that. And you saying that just confirmed all of this for me. That's what I want this to be, is a a big white flag for women saying, keep going, you're almost there. Just stand
Yes.
back up. Um I just, oh man. So
Yeah.
I thank you. You just confirmed so much about this for me and I appreciate it. Especially as moms, being okay with the imperfect, being okay. I decided I decided when I started this, I won't go anywhere my kids don't go.
Mm.
Anywhere my kids can't go.
Yep.
I homeschool.
Yep.
I and there's this TikTok now. She says, I'm gonna talk about God and I'm gonna talk about Jesus. And I'm gonna talk about
Period.
if you're around me, I'm gonna talk about God.
Listen,
So
it's gonna
being
come out my
like,
mouth.
okay, like just being going places and doing things where that is known and that is appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Where I can really be me. Um, everywhere I go and on everything that I do, I put three things: God, family, business, and it's in that order. Um,
Okay.
and so I think that's important for people, but especially moms and ladies out there who are feeling like they can't do everything.
Sure.
Like you are one person and you get to live one life. You get to live one life. So just make it the life you really want it to be. And there are people out there and there are communities out there and there are uh just everything you need is out there
It is.
while you're being the person totally while you're totally being the person that you are and becoming the person that you want to be. Everything you need is out there.
Yeah.
And that's just amazing and crazy and scary, and it just gives all the
Yeah.
feels, you know.
You had touched on two things, and when you were talking about when we were talking about earlier, like the stand back up, one thing that someone told me that I have to remind myself constantly is that God always calls the unqualified.
Mm,
And I feel like that's also my reminder to keep getting up, to keep standing back up. Like you said, this releasing the idea of I have to know it all, I have to be perfect, I have to have this in line, because I feel like if God gave you the vision, He gave it to you for a reason. Like
mm.
you were equipped before you were even called. Mommy. And that's
Ooh.
yeah. Mommy. Okay, come on. But I think like just reminding myself that every day, like even moments like this, I used to get so stressed out. Just understanding like, why can't you just go sit still over there? But I'm just like, look, just because I'm a mom, that doesn't take away from my gift. That doesn't take away
Mm,
from my voice, my power. It doesn't take away from anything. I
right.
just have some extra love attached to me, and that's it. And that's it. Thank you.
Right.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. But I also wanted to touch on you guys. When I say Naughty is great, Naughty, you had reminded me, you and a friend of mine. I remember I went back to work last year, guys, and I started working at Dollar Tree. And
Mm,
I remember talking to Nadi. I remember talking to my friend Audrey. And I was just like, I know God doesn't want me here because it's
mm,
too much confusion. It's too much going on. And Nadi just kept telling me, like, Shania, there's resources out there. Like you gotta find them. They're out there. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just felt tired. I felt defeated. I felt like my
mm,
business isn't moving. Here I am about to have my second kid. Okay, maybe I really just need to just keep working but again, when you're called, God will always come get you. And
mm,
I felt like Nadia and Audrey was my reminder. Shania, trust God.
mm,
I say this all the time, but like, don't let up. Don't let up.
mm,
Trust in Him. Keep going. And y'all, I was only at Dollar Tree for a month, okay? Because I was like, you know what? This is not the place for me. But honestly, God has made sure all my bills are paid. Like, there's
mm,
food on the table. My car is paid. Everything has been fine because I've been focusing on what He wants me to focus on.
mm.
So I wanted to touch on both of those things. Like there are resources out there, mom or not. I don't want to say you have to be a mom. You don't have to be a mom. There's
Right.
so much resources, money, people who want to help you out
Right.
there. So just being open and willing, hey, I need help.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And you said something that just spoke so powerfully to me. God doesn't, when God calls you, you're already equipped,
Oh yeah.
right? And I'm like, more and more every day, I'm starting to believe that that's how you know that God calls you, because you will be equipped.
Yep.
If you're not
Yep.
equipped, then God probably didn't call you to that. And not equipped in the sense that right now, today, you have everything you need to see it completely through, but
Right.
equipped in the sense that, like, as you go along, you'll find that everything that you need taken care of is taken care of.
Definitely.
I have to believe that um God is a God of action.
Hmm.
Like, there was never a time when God told somebody to do something that they weren't able to do it,
Yep.
ever, like ever. So if God told you to do it, then you have all you need. It's
Exactly.
just a matter of figuring out the strategy. Like, it's just a matter of strategy. And I believe that's what God called me to, is like a lot of people have faith that this is like, they know this is what God called me to, but they're like, how do I start? Right. And honestly, it's about and strategy, faith and strategy. But the problem is a lot of people have strategic faith,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you have to keep those two things separate. And what I mean when I say strategic faith is a lot of people feel like, okay, this is what God called me to,
Mm-hmm.
but in order to do this, I need 50K,
Yeah.
right? Like, in order to do this,
Mm-hmm.
I have to have a building and five and four buses, and you know what I'm saying? Like, or in order to do this, I have to have um 4 million followers today. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
a lot of people feel like you have to have it all right now.
In order to
And
start. Yeah.
exactly, and that's really not the case. And the truth is, if you don't start, you'll never get to that place.
Mm-hmm.
So um it's just amazing to hear you say that. And then another thing that came to my mind is God doesn't God qualifies the call. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't call the qualified.
Yep.
Just begin, and you'll find that you have everything you need. And what you don't have, I know that if God called you to it, you will come by.
Listen, the way he be showing up sometimes, I be like, all right now.
Okay.
I see it. I'm like, look, all right. Like, and I
Mm,
think that's why, y'all, I advocate for therapy so much. Therapy or having a coach, because
mm,
entrepreneurship is not easy. And it's
right.
such a mentally exhausting thing sometimes, if we could just be honest. And that's why when you say where do you begin, therapy, okay? Because there's a few things that you touched on, but I know one of my biggest things also was just I understood I understood I was called. I
Mm,
understood, okay, God, you've brought me through so much to share this story for people, and it'll help a lot of people. But it was really just I had like the fear of success. I hated rejection. It was still that I felt like I had to be perfect. So, do I share all of my story? And I really had to work with my therapist to get to the root of these things, because
mm,
there's a root to your fear of success. There's a root to that rejection of why you're really scared to go full throttle with your business. There's a root to why
mhm,
you feel like every day you have to be perfect. Mine stem from a lot of childhood trauma, and we really had to tackle that. Even finding a new therapist, I moved to a new state. My first question to her was, do you specialize in trauma? Because that's where that's where I am right now. Understanding I will no longer stop myself from building my
mm,
business. I will no longer
mm,
stop myself from, elevating, because I will no longer allow my past situations, my past traumas to hinder me. So that's why I advocate for therapy. And I really wanted to touch on that. As God is qualifying us, qualified us, as He's, propelling us forward, be mindful of how you tend to yourself on your journey of entrepreneurship, motherhood, whatever journey you're on.
mm. Yes, yes. My mama used to say there's a thin line between faith and foolish.
Hmm.
And it took for me to be an adult to understand what that meant. Like, yes, have faith that God is going to do it,
Yep,
and do what you need to do as well, right?
exactly.
You can't just sit down and say, I don't need to do anything. God's going to do it. Like, yes, God's going to do it, but God is going to use you to get
Hmm.
it done, right? So, you have to do the footwork of going to therapy, of getting the help, of, filling out the application, whatever the case may be. And then God meets you there. That's where God's going to do it. You have to do your part. Whatever he tells you your part is, if he wants you to do something, he'll tell you that as well when he
Yeah.
tells you to do it,
Yep.
you know? So oh man. And there's this, the other thing is there's this huge, for some reason, there's this huge stigma for us around therapy, right?
Mm.
And it's just like, and then too, I'm thinking, I started going to therapy a few years ago, and I found that the people around me were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go sit and talk about my feelings. What I'm gonna talk about? What I'm gonna do that for? What me and the therapist got to talk about?" And then there was this other group of people who were like, "Oh, you crazy, crazy." Like they make you feel like you gotta be on your way to the white jacket in
Yep.
order to, like, go to therapy. And they made me feel like I was a bad mom and a bad person for
Mm.
going to
Talk about
therapy.
talk about.
And the truth is, going to therapy for me was neither one of those things. But I do know, and some people would say, one of those groups would say, "Oh, you could just talk to your friends, you could just talk to your family, you could just talk to whoever it may be." But the truth is, when I talk to my friends, all they can do is come from their point of view
Yep.
on things.
Yep.
And a lot of times they they already have this idea about me in their mind, and
Exactly.
it's hard for them to change that idea in order to see what it is that's really going on and help me with the things that I really need. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like, and then with this other group of people, it's only surface deep. So you can't help me because you have you honestly, you don't have the capability to see me, like, really see me. And the truth is, only I have that ability, and the therapist not only understands that, but they're qualified
Mm-hmm.
to go deeper and to take me through those things. And so, like, I just wanted to ask about, not, details, but your experience with therapy, or, going to therapy and that kind of thing.
Look, I could give you details if you want them. No.
Hey, whatever you want to do.
So I've been going to, yes. Okay, you want to get it? Okay, get it. Okay, I don't know, but I've been in therapy for what, 6 years? I don't
Mm,
even know how long. It's been a while, and it's been the same as you were saying. That's why I was over here like, people, people can be very judgmental, but I just feel like people project. They project
mm,
their fears. They project them wishing they could take that step and go.
mm,
They project like just all their own feelings onto you. And my journey with therapy, it's been, I feel like it's been amazing. I do like to say this, therapy is like finding a good pair of jeans, y'all. Sometimes it don't fit, you gotta return it
mm.
and find another one. Okay, seriously, because
Yeah.
sometimes people find a therapist, they don't like the therapist. They're like, "Oh, I tried it, it doesn't work for me." No, you tried it once. You didn't like the person. Try to find someone else that works for you. So in the beginning, I did have to shop around. I had to find a therapist who I felt like was for me. And it's so funny because a lot of the times we could say, "Oh, I want a black therapist. I want this type of therapist. I need this type of therapist." My therapist was a white woman, and she was amazing. She brought me closer to God. The way I was able to grow with her God knew exactly what He was doing when He placed her in my life as my therapist. And
Mm,
I, it was hard because I was judged by a lot of people close to me as well. Like, you really
mm,
in therapy? Like, my family calling me crazy. Oh, that's why you need help. Or they used to say the craziest things. But fast forward to now, it's amazing how a lot of those same people reach out to me. Shania, I'm in therapy now. Or Shania, can you help me find a therapist? Shania, like, it's just I had to be ridiculed at first. Again, God told me in the beginning, I'm gonna use you. I need people to see like this can be done. The healing can be done. But like
mm,
it was very emotional. Outside of healing being emotional in itself, I'm healing with my therapist. I'm going through those emotions. But I think the judgment, the ridicule, just people looking at me a certain way was really emotional. Still to this day, again, family can be family can be tough, okay? But they're your family, right? They're your family. But I remember so I remember someone saying to me, I don't believe in mental health. I feel like you're weak because you go to
mm,
therapy. I feel like you are this, you are that. But I remember that same person. They came to me one day and they said, I admire you for always being so fearless and going against what people say about you. And that's when I really started to understand you were just projecting your own fears onto me. It wasn't that you thought I was weak, you felt weak, and really understanding that how people treat you, what they say about you, a lot of the times has nothing to do with you. So I think honestly, I want to say starting a few months ago, I really had to like start to redefine a lot of things, if that makes sense.
mm,
Just how people viewed me, how they thought of me, and just my journey with mental health. How I'm so vocal about it, because like I said, I've told God a lot of times, like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with sharing this much, but just understanding that people need it and just to
mm,
release the judgment and the fear of other people. So I think my journey with therapy, though, all in all, it's been great. It's been emotional, but I've definitely learned a lot about myself,
mm.
spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Um,
Wow. Yeah. Uh, so many things, and I think it's good to hear because so many people are going through that, and we feel crazy.
hmm
And I think a lot of life you learn to interact in the world through the people that you came from. You
mm,
learn how to be who you are because of
mm,
wherever it is that you came,
talk about
right?
it.
You got like so and if you think about especially like black people, black women, think about where we came from, African American women especially, think about where we came from. We came from slaves. There had to be a whole lot of trauma and people being snatched up and beaten and done all types of things. There had to be a whole lot wrapped up in that they handed down, a whole lot of fear, a whole lot of pain. So I'm not even saying that. I just wanted to be known that it may not even be your fault.
mm, mm. Yep,
It's probably not your fault.
yep,
But now you're here. Now you have this, and it's your responsibility.
yep,
If somebody throw mud on you, that's not your fault,
nope,
but it's now your responsibility to get clean.
yep,
You can't just walk around with mud on you saying, "Oh, they threw mud on me." You gonna walk around with mud on you for the next couple of weeks,
Mhm.
and that's what we're doing. Like as a people, as a collective, as a group, is we just walk around with the mud on us, and
Yep.
we're saying, "Oh, these people did this to me. It's not your fault,
Yeah.
but it is now your responsibility."
Responsibility. I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay, so I'm getting my notification that we're coming up on time. This was so good, and I just want to say thank you again.
No
Um,
problem.
I want to cover. So, tell me, do you have what are your final thoughts for the people out there? Your number one piece of advice.
My number one piece of advice. Mm, I feel like it's gonna be two,
Okay.
but for one, always give yourself grace,
Mm,
and number two, always hold space for yourself. Um,
mm,
because I feel like a lot of the times we can hold space for everyone around us. Okay. Yes, sir. He said I want my milk now. But I feel like we can hold space for everyone around us. We're there for everyone. We're all trying to be moms, have businesses, you know, holding space for yourself. I have this shirt on that says soul care because my soul care consists of holding space for myself. What that looks
mm,
like is the days where I just feel mentally exhausted. What do I need to tend to my mental health? If that requires a long cry in the tub, I'm gonna give myself grace and I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go sit with those emotions and I'm gonna release them in whatever way I need to. If that means
mm,
I have my people that hold space for me, if that means
right.
reaching out to them and just releasing, hey, are you, I do ask my friends, hey, are you in a good space right now to receive what I got going on? Like, and
Mm,
just sometimes my release can, it can look ugly, like the things I say,
mm,
how I feel, but just getting it out and understanding that even though I feel this way, that doesn't define who I am. I'm just having a
mm,
moment and that's okay. So give yourself grace and hold space for yourself.
mm. Amen. Because whoo, it's hard, doing all the things for everybody all the time. So yes, I felt that. I felt that. Okay, and the second thing is, where can people find you if they want to continue to follow you or find out more about you, that kind of thing?
Sure. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Shania Karina, SHANIAKERINA, or Karina's Place on Instagram, on Facebook. That's KERINAS and then PLACE. There's also karinasplace.com. So make sure you guys go on there, subscribe to our email listing, be up to date. We send out affirmations, soul care tips, just mental health facts. We send out a lot. So if y'all want to keep up with the girl, what we got going on,
Okay.
don't hesitate to follow, okay? Um, but yeah,
Amazing, amazing. And the third thing is, I just wanted to tell you, mom to mom, person to person, business owner to business owner, I love you. I
thank
freaking love you. So I just, you know, I hope that you have an amazing, amazing day. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining me.
yes, thank you, Nadi, and I love you too. Listen, if y'all haven't worked with Nadi, y'all need to work with Nadi, okay? Y'all need to get on her schedule. I be telling all my friends like y'all need a business coach. Y'all need to go
Mm,
book with Nadi. Seriously, I love you. I thank you. I'm grateful for you. What you do is amazing. Like you said, from
mm.
mom to mom, woman to woman. So I'm proud of you. This was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much, and thank you for joining again. Um, I see y'all